Hi, my name is Phil Anderson, and I'm running for United States Senate to represent Wisconsin. I've been doing a lot of social media posting lately about how there's very little to no difference between the Republican Party and the Democrat Party in the way that they both support larger government, bigger deficits, more control by the Federal Reserve, etc., etc., etc. And when I post those things, I tend to get a lot of feedback from people that say I'm nuts. That say that, all the Libertarian Party is, or all my campaign is about, is taking votes away from Ron Johnson, or how can I say those things about Russ Feingold, who is such a political saint, or etc., etc., that I must be blind to the differences between the Republican and Democrat parties. But I beg to differ with you. And the way I like to compare it is this. You see those things on Facebook and other social media outlets where it says, it's clickbait, they call it, where it says, you'll freak out when you see this, and it's some picture about a scene in a dining room or an outdoor scene or something, and some odd little thing like there's somebody about to cut somebody else's head off, or there's a picture, a shadow of somebody, or a reflection in a mirror where there's no person in real life to make that reflection, or something like that, some odd little thing. And sometimes you'll look at it and look at it and look at it, and you'll not be able to see what they're talking about. And there's probably true that there's something there that you will freak out if you do see it, but you just can't see it. So you're like, nah, it's not there. This is all a hoax. But then at some point, you do see it. You see it, and you're like, wow, it really is there. And it freaks you out for a moment. Of course, it's usually a fictional sort of thing, so you don't get too freaked out. But once you see it, then you never unsee it, right? You never fail to see it after that. If you take that same picture later and look at it again, you of course see that thing in it which eluded you before. And you are never going to look at that picture again without noticing that very thing which before you could not see. The same is true with politics, my friends. The same is true. Once you dig into your heart and into your consciousness and look at the evidence and see that the Republicans and Democrats are two sides of the same coin. Even those people that you voted for and you invested in, like Ron Johnson, supposed Tea Party candidate of 2010, regular guy, businessman going to Washington to solve the problems in the United States government. Or if you're a Democrat and you're a big fan of Russ Feingold, regular guy, wrote his campaign promises on his garage door, just a everyman, a guy who's going to Washington and who's going to dissent from the Washington power structure. Once you see that they're both the same problem, and that is the problem of ever-growing government, the problem of politicians being loyal to their parties, which the parties themselves are all about gaining and retaining power, channeling money for themselves and for their candidates. Once you see that, you won't be able to unsee it. You'll see it for the rest of your life. And every candidate that runs as a Democrat or Republican, you'll be able to see right through them right away. But until you see that, you'll have the same problem that some people on social media and in, of course, real life still have, and that is they can't believe you're saying it. They can't believe you'd say that about their candidate, or that if they've been a Republican their whole life, how can you say that my party is the same as the Democrat Party, because they haven't seen it yet. But once they see it, they'll never be able to unsee it, because it's the truth. The truth is that Republicans and Democrats are two sides of the same coin. They are the same thing. They are the two-sided, two-headed dragon that rules Washington and has its claws in your pocketbook and breathes fire on your life and takes things from you and controls your life and tells you what you can do and who you can be with and how you should act and what you should believe, and totally controls your life if you let it. But that's not what being a human being is all about. Being a human being is free choice and liberty and living your life as an individual and being responsible to yourself and to your community, but being responsible to yourself and to how you were born and to who you are. And that's what libertarianism stands for. That's what I stand for as a candidate for United States Senate, for that two-headed dragon to be out of your life, to be slain by the simple sword of common sense, and that is that we were all created equal to live in liberty and love and life and property and privacy and all those things that all human beings cherish, Republican or Democrat, Muslim or Christian or black or white or gay or straight or whatever, all those things that all people want, peace, prosperity, and privacy. Those are the things that libertarians stand for. And once you see the true nature of Democrats and Republicans and those who would have power over you, and see that they're all more or less the same in the things that really matter, once you see that, you'll never be able to unsee it. And I really hope that that day comes soon. And I hope it comes before November 8th so you can make a good decision in the November elections and not return to power those who have been dominating you for these many decades. Thanks, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.